Hello everyone, it is Kaahlan, and welcome back to another episode of my Danganronpa playthrough. I am right smack dab in the middle of class trial number 5. What I thought was going to be the last one, but now I'm actually not too sure because I feel like they're like, well actually, you're only halfway through the game. But I don't know if that means there's going to be any more trials. We are on the last floor of the building, which is what I thought was right. So anyway. So we're right in the middle of this. Toko is currently talking about being wrong. I left right in the middle of this last time, so if you're curious what Toko is talking about, we were just discussing the body, and she was like, well, the body was there before the sprinklers went off because it was soaking wet. And then I'm like, you're wrong, because the body is soaking wet because I threw water on it when it was about to explode, not because the sprinklers went off. So there's that. However, I just want to sidetrack before I actually get into the game here again. I feel I was editing my VOD, or my videos leading up to this one, and I feel like I kind of had some small revelations. So there's a couple of things that I guess I just forgot about while I was investigating. The first one is we found the muddy tarp in the storage shed, and at first I was wondering if that was what was used to move the body into this room, because I obviously think it's Junko's body. But then I was wondering, what if the person that was in there was covered with the tarp? So the body would have been covered and the tarp would have gotten wet and or muddy, but the body wouldn't have. So that would throw off the timeline of when it could have actually been placed there. 2, if Byakuya was actually working with Toko and or Genocide Jill, then it's possible that it was part of the plan to go send her up here. But that's hard to say. I'm not totally sure on that side. I am beginning to suspect Byakuya and Toko for this one because I think Toko will do anything he tells her to. And because I feel like Byakuya is the one that's kind of been leading this whole chapter. And then the other thing that I thought about that I wanted to bring up, and again, it's just speculation, but Byakuya said we were together the whole night, like we all went out in pairs only, even to the bathroom. I'm curious if Byakuya and Toko ever went together. Hard to say. Anyway, just some things I was thinking about. There's some other things that I'm actually not really sure about still, which is mainly the dojo locker, because I still kind of think Byakuya planted it there, but I just don't know what the bloodied bandages would have been from at all. So anyway, I think that's all I was really had on my mind since I last recorded, and I feel like, again, a lot of times I feel like I'm on the cusp of some of these cases, but I'm just not quite there, and I feel that way again, so we'll see what's gonna happen. Let's go. Sorry for talking for 4 minutes. Alright. I'm wrong? How?
Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
Excuse me?
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean?
That was I wasn't expecting that.
Denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Yes, actually. Yes.
You're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. If we look at the body itself, that should make it clear. Oh, I didn't realize.
I admit admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on!
Ah, shit. I probably didn't need to. Sorry, I was zoned out there.
I admit nothing.
I am absolutely whiffing this, but you know, that was why I ended up going into the fever mode.
No, no! I don't know anything! Hold on!
I'm going too fast now to play normally. Okay, we did it. That was a mess.
How can you say it wasn't the
This should prove it.
Man. I haven't done that in a while,
Just
and I
remember
wasn't
what the
expecting
body
it to
was
pop
like
up
after the
immediately.
explosion,
I
and you'll
wasn't
see why it
prepared.
wasn't the
We got through it.
sprinklers.
That's all that matters.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
I mean, we don't actually really know where the sprinklers hit in the room, if we're being honest.
completely dry? What a brutal maniac! I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because
Yes. You're almost there.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
Yep.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Ooh.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
Yeah.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Makuro's killer is. No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing.
Go ahead.
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone.
I believe her.
This is a
She
trap
could
the
say anything and
mastermind
I'd be
has laid
like,
for
yep,
us.
Kyoko's telling the truth.
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time. Stop
Really?
wasting
Okay,
energy.
I think it's
You think your
Byakuya, but
little
now
trick is gonna
Kyoko's
work?
like, it's Monokuma, or the mastermind. But,
You got it, boss. Shutting up now.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh?
What?
She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to
I
try
still
and
don't
put a
understand
stop
why
to all
she
this.
thought that Mukuro was
Isn't
the
that
ultimate
right,
despair.
Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial.
Okay.
Something I'm sure you weren't
I
at
think-
all expecting.
Byakuya is saying like, oh, well, Mukuro wasn't the ultimate despair. Kyoko knows that though. And I know I asked this earlier when I was like, well, Kyoko saw the profile. She took the profile from Monokuma's room. The profile that we found in her room that Byakuya then looked at with us said, yes, she is the ultimate soldier. So, you know, I don't know why Kyoko told us that she's the ultimate despair. However, it doesn't matter. Like, Kyoko still knows that Mukuro is the ultimate soldier. Why is he bringing this up? Okay, let's continue.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
Everyone here is dumb.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Whoa, Kyoko, no! Don't do this to
The
me!
sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
Yeah.
What are you?
Because you see, there is a way the
Oh,
body
this
could
is
have avoided
this is
getting
totally
wet.
what I just theorized earlier. The tarp.
I'm listening.
I'm glad
All
I
it
ended
would
up.
take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been? Yep. Alright. I knew it.
I got it.
I always left
You're
click
talking
those
about
first.
the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick.
Yeah, because I
You're
already
right.
figured this
All
out
you have to do is cover the body with
before
the tarp,
Makoto.
and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did.
It is
The dirt
interesting that
pattern on the
Kyoko.
tarp can attest to that.
Oh, I didn't really check the dirt pattern. So that's really interesting that Kyoko says that it's the mastermind setting us up. Because I wasn't sure how, like, Byakuya or anyone would have found Junko's body, and I still think it's Junko's body. Like, only the mastermind would know that. Okay, that's all.
Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean.
Why didn't it get bloody?
This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from
To
getting
throw
wet?
off the timeline, baby.
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just
Also,
gave us.
you know, we didn't get a dead body announcement. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Oh, that was another thing I noticed. Okay. One of the other things I noticed when I was watching back through stuff was that, we, like, actually comment on the fact that there's only blood on the body and not around it. And there's one chicken missing, so I'm guessing it's chicken blood. I just don't know what happened to the chicken. But that is my guess. So maybe the knife and blood were planted after I'm zoning out. I was thinking about another line of theory. So I think that the knife and blood might have been planted by Toko when she came upstairs at 9 then? Or Kyoko planted this stuff. I don't know. I'm not really sure who did the planting, but definitely I stand by that this is Junko's body. It's chicken blood. It looks like Kyoko was the one that got the knife from my room. That whole night is very weird. Okay, so we'll continue now. I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. Kyoko must know that it's Junko's body. I have to refute what Kyoko said. I bet you Kyoko knows already, like the short examination she did. Body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
Yes.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
So body
That
before
side was
the
protected
explosion?
from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Okay. Yes, I actually got that one right. For once, my gut feeling and the correct answer.
Actually,
Amazing.
one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Yes, okay.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
What?
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side
Thank you.
wouldn't hide anything.
I was about to, like, really? Hero, come on.
Yeah, true.
More than that,
Hero, you
what
should
if
just
the
sit
very
these
blood
out.
we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Camouflage? The blood was camouflage?
After the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim.
Okay, well, yeah. I don't know if I'd call that camouflage, but yes.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
They could have.
That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
Yeah,
No, that's not what happened this time.
I agree.
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Sure did. Missing a chicken. They got blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean... Chicken... Coop. Chickens...
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
What did they do with the rest of the chicken?
But after the murder, there were only 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Who's
I
to
wonder
say,
if the
Hina?
killer had to get the blood from
We
the
don't know what
scene
they did
so
after.
They wouldn't be spotted walking around.
What did they do with the chicken? Is it
Anyway,
buried somewhere?
There's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Okay, I'm glad that I also had this theory. Feels
Perhaps,
good.
But even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
What's that?
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
Interesting.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like
Oh,
you
no,
normally
it was
would?
backwards, which I did notice and I found weird.
I think so.
No.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
I noticed that, but I don't know why I didn't comment on it. Because it
Then
is
that
definitely
settles
weird,
it.
but I was just like, everything about
Sorry,
this is weird.
I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred.
Okay.
They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
if that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
Yeah.
To pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
Yeah, Toko.
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body.
So it had to be Toko
They'd
then.
be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Yeah.
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Wait, what?
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
Is that true? Did I not go with her?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Is that true? I thought why didn't I go with Hina? And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body has been added to the truth bullets section.
Well
Okay.
then, looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Can't wait to die with everybody. Let's go.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No.
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Yeah,
One we
that was
found
the
stuck
knife
in the
from
body
my room.
before it
Wait,
exploded, right?
hold on. Is Kyoko framing me? Kyoko, we saw Kyoko slash the dead body person in our room the night that we were really sick. First we saw the person with the white coat and mask with the knife standing over our bed, and then we saw Kyoko standing over our bed. And obviously they took the knife at that point. So you would assume it would have to be Kyoko. Kyoko did say that the key she has opens any door in the place, which is actually probably how she got into our room. I bet it wasn't unlocked that first time she came in. I bet I think she had the key already. So... But why? Why would she be doing this? I don't understand. But now they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's the knife that you were protecting, right, Makoto? Okay. God damn it.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Oh, rip me.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Am I getting framed by my girlfriend?
You don't seem surprised.
Is my girlfriend
You
betraying
must
me?
have noticed earlier.
Is she the ultimate betrayer?
Yeah. Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
Look, I had a really weird dream that I was being attacked by the person that's dead with that knife. Oh, I thought maybe I really did kill her. Sorry, I didn't realize that it wasn't talking.
Suspicious.
Whoops.
Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Do I even know? Am I even sure about that? Alright. I mean, we just got the disguised dead body,
The
right?
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
That's not...
You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are.
Oops, I didn't mean to shoot that. We don't know for sure that that's what killed her, though. We've already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed. Which means when the knife was thrust through the coat into the body, they were already dead. Okay, well yeah, that's a better logic than I even had.
Dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before,
I'm not sure
then
which is the contradiction here.
Makoto did it.
That's alright.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Oops.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
That's not true.
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Yeah.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember?
Yeah,
The killer
hero.
covered the dead body with the tarp and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body.
Yep.
Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
Sure was.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh,
Man,
hey,
is it
I have a
actually
question.
Togo?
It kind of goes back to the beginning, but... what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
Like, who else could have brought
If
the
you
bomb up?
bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Shut up, God.
Well, if you're so smart,
annoying.
just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
I think
dumb,
Hiro should just
but even
not
I'm
take
dumb
part in
enough
the
to believe
trials.
that.
I don't think he
Go
contributes
ahead,
anything.
Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Why don't you tell her? Does he not know? There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. I mean, I'm sure he knows, but it just... Stop making me do your work, alright? Where... Did I go past the fragments? Oh.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right?
Yeah.
That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's
Did we?
part of a bomb.
Oh. Wow, I didn't recognize that as the same thing at
Then the
all.
explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming
It looked
more
like
and
a little
more
coin
obvious by the
purse.
minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
Is Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
But I don't believe that still.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine.
How would
I
the
have no
trial
problem
go,
with
though,
that.
if it is
Let us
Junko's
continue
body?
the debate.
Like,
It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
we need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Alright. That's okay, we got Monokuma file number 5. That's all we got. But that is
Then
the one
shall
that
we
had their
continue the debate?
several day old wounds.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
True.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right?
Right.
There's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file,
Didn't she have a head
that's gotta
wound?
be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was a cover-up and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Which only leaves...
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet
I
to
think
be
I need to
determined,
copy
The explosion
the
didn't kill her
several
for
day
sure.
old wound. Oops. What? I didn't shoot
Well,
that one.
yeah.
Come
She
on.
was already totally dead when that happened.
I think I need to
And it
copy
wasn't
the
me
several
because
day
of
old
the knife,
wounds
right?
and shoot the
And then
fatal?
there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's
I wonder
gotta
where
be
the
it.
head
There
wound
was
would have
evidence
been.
that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
Oh
body.
shit. God damn it. I meant to copy, not right click. It's fine, it's fine.
Then
Let me
shall we
just
continue
read.
the victim's fatal
I'm not entirely
explosion
sure I'm
didn't
right
Well,
here, but
And it wasn't me.
it's the only thing
Oh,
I'm...
yeah.
The blow to the head could be
According to the
it.
that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her
I
head.
think it's the several
And more than
day old
that.
wounds though.
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was a cover-up and all those wounds, blah, 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 blah.
Then shall we continue the debate?
I'm gonna try it on
The
the...
victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
Fuck, I
correct?
don't know what it is then. Do you think... You think there's... Oh, I'm on auto now. I messed that up. Everything's going wrong. Okay, I don't know what the contradiction is.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her.
Or maybe I need to copy fatal injury and shoot the day-old explosion cuts? I don't know.
And it wasn't.
I don't know what the head wound is from.
And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll try copying head wound in case that's what it is, but
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back
I
of her
really
head.
don't know why the hit on the back of the head happened.
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
What does
body.
he say? The knife was a cover-up and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Is that all? Which only leaves...
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
Okay, gosh darn it, it's the head wound. Then did Junko not actually die? Was that...
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop and think here for a second again. Did Junko not actually die at the start of the game? But that doesn't make sense, because there's supposed to be an actual 16th student, so I don't think that, like, Junko would have, like, actually have been a bad guy who just, like, actually survived and then worked behind the scenes, so that seems weird. I don't know, but, like, did any of us actually check Junko's body to make sure she was dead? Anyway. I just don't know where the head wound would have come from if this is Junko's body. Let's continue.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
I don't agree.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of
Oh.
yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
This took a turn.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
I'm uncomfortable, actually.
We
This
want to
is...
figure out what killed
that was
her,
weird.
right? It just so happens we already know.
You know,
We
I gotta
already
say,
know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
Hiro and Toko are arguably my least favorite characters. And actually, Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya are arguably my least favorite characters in this game's lineup. And yet here they all have made it to the end somehow. Awesome.
So what was it?
I didn't like Hifumi
Go
that
ahead
much
and tell
either,
them,
but that's okay.
Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
What is the real murder weapon? Have I? What? Is this what he thinks they are? Like what? Do you think someone hit her over the head with a stack of arrows?
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Really?
Are you sure? That sounds...
I agree, Hina.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. And what, the bundled up bandages? Okay.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
Yeah.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe.
Well, yeah, if
right?
they were all bundled
it seems
together.
Like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master.
Well, Hina's right there.
You have no right!
Oh, are we actually... If it was just that titanium arrow, it wouldn't be nearly thick enough. Oh, was the titanium... Oh, they were taped together. The bloody bandages
The titanium arrow.
were taping the arrows together.
It was in the dojo locker, right?
Not the person.
I have no doubt that was
I
the murder
see.
weapon.
Are you sure?
I understand.
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well,
I think.
'cause in the
We'll see,
Monokuma
hopefully.
file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right?
Yeah.
It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, I was shot too low.
Master,
Fuck.
you have no right!
Oh, the speed up on that was very funny.
The titanium, it was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe. It seems like an arrow would just be too...
No, that's wrong.
Okay, but then... I'm
You're
gonna
right.
interrupt again.
Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
So... Doesn't this just frame Byakuya then? Because Byakuya was the one that had access to Kyoko's bedroom. He had the key. Why would we think it's Kyoko if he was the one with the key? I think it... You know what? I'm standing by it. I think it's Byakuya and Toko working together. And that she's the one that ended up planting the bomb. Hell, Toko may even be the one that switched out the coat when she went upstairs. We'll see.
Another
Whatever.
weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
Probably.
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
I'm not familiar.
One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Oh,
Damn,
nice.
That's harsh.
How
Is it?
harsh? Are you even listening?
What?
Anyway,
Why
that
does he say
explains
these
the murder
things?
weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
Was it?
I've never been to the dojo.
That's not true.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
She did, because we saw her in there the very first day. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here on this nice little cliffhanger. We totally saw Kyoko on the very first day when we were exploring the 5th floor. That's where she was. She was inside the dojo, so that is a lie. However, I still think Byakuya planted this shit. So, okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been really good. And I'm just excited to see where this is gonna go next, because I, as usual, don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.